many games are going to win this fall?
Jedd Fisch showed up in Seattle, and the previous renters ripped everything off the wall. I mean, they walked into the rental house. They thought there was going to be furniture, and it was gone. So he had to bring his own. About a dozen players from Arizona, including leading rusher Jonah Coleman, a couple defensive starters as well. Also had to lean into the portal to help restock that Washington roster. He still was able to hold on to Will Rogers at the quarterback position. But as we're starting to look at this, we got a win total of 6.5. Bud, why don't you get us started here? What are you doing with the Huskies?
Under. And I think you'll hear from me tomorrow about this one too. I think this is under all day. I'm not super impressed with what they did in the transfer portal. Take all the comments I just made about USC's depth along lines of scrimmage and multiply it by like 1 billion. I do like the two receivers quite a bit. I think Hunter and Boston have something to them. If Will Rogers stays healthy, he could put up some big numbers. I certainly could see a path to a bowl. 6.5 though. I mean, 7-5 here. Are they favored over Washington State?
Yes.
Yeah.
By what?
50.
No.
Like a touchdown?
The Apple Cup at home, they'll be favored in that game.
All right. I guess. At Rutgers, like at Iowa, at Indiana, at Penn State, at Oregon, there's a lot of potential pitfalls here. If they're not as good as some people think, they could be dogs in the final 8 games. So I'm going under.
We had somebody in the chat before. I think I was referencing Rutgers beating Washington. Said, do you think they're going to go from national championship game to scrubs in the Big Ten or something like that? I don't think it's scrubs in the Big Ten. I just think I think it's very similar to what TCU had to deal with. Plus, you throw in the fact that they have an entire new staff and a new regime as well. We've talked a lot about how many players they've had to replace, about Jedd Fisch getting a little bit of a late start as well because the switch was made late. Like, this is a reboot in his words, right? Not rebuild, reboot.
He got mad at me when I said rebuild.
Yeah. So, and this was one of the ones where I was looking at over-unders and had to even them out. So I gave Rutgers the over and Washington the under. I don't feel great about it. I think Jedd Fisch is a great dude. I think he's a good coach. I think he'll get it figured out. I just think it could be a rough year one.
Yeah, I'm on the under as well, but this is another scenario where it's like, I don't know what this team is. It's all transfers. It's like a brand new coaching staff, and pretty much the entire depth chart is filled with guys who weren't there last year or weren't starters last year who received a lot of time. So it's hard for me to have a ton of faith in this thing going either way. So I'm on the under, but no confidence.
I can get you to 4 wins real easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Start the season. Build up the confidence. Let's go.
And I am willing to add like a half game based on Jedd Fisch, and maybe willing to add a 0.25 of a game if the Florida job is coming open. I tell you what, you cannot win a press conference in Gainesville after going 5-7 in Seattle.
Missouri, Ole Miss, and Washington's gonna have a score off that thing open.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you run this, where you find these wins. I've talked throughout this week about how Washington is a giant question mark team on everybody else's schedule, which leads to me staring at a ton of question marks on Washington's schedule. I'm struggling to find the confidence. I'm sure they will build the confidence as they stack those wins early, but getting those wins late might mean that you've got to go beat Iowa in Kinnick. Hey, I'm not ready to bet on that. You're gonna go all the way to Piscataway? You're gonna go get that win? I don't know if I see it there.
You know when you could leave and hit the press conference when you're 5-4.
Resign. Resign with winning.
Just look at the schedules and look how they line up. One could be fired, another could be hired. Get the head start.
If Florida takes a sitting head coach, like we've taken sitting head coaches before a bowl game.
Oh yeah.
If he
Mhm.
takes them before the regular season finale,
For Thanksgiving.
before
Joe
Thanksgiving,
McGuire. When did Joe McGuire do it? When did he wasn't a head coach though. That's a little different, slightly different.
yeah. Oh man. All right.
They're going to play hard though.
Wow.
They will play hard.